Well, as you could see, we said that the machine is fading the fabric backwards. In this video, I will explain what we must do to fix this fault. Well, first of all, we must uncover our machine, since this adjustment is made from the eccentric in charge of moving the feed dogs. At the end of the video, I will provide videos on how to uncover Singer machines and how to uncover Brother machines. To make that adjustment, we must uncover them, yes or no. There is no other solution. Once we have our machine uncovered, we will proceed to the part of the eccentric responsible for the feed. Right now that we have our machine focused on the top part, we are going to see it is always an eccentric piece. In this case, this one is plastic. Eccentric means a screw or part that does not rotate uniformly, which means it is not round but rather always has a part that sticks out more than the rest of the piece. So normally in all these machines, it always comes attached to a type of connecting rod. At this moment we see a connecting rod. If we don't position it this way, we can follow the sequence of the feed mechanism, right? So let's look at the bottom part too. We are going to turn the hand wheel and try to analyze the movement generated by the feed dogs. We can see that this part is responsible for making the feed dogs move forward and backward. We must always follow the sequence. This requires a lot of analysis and a bit of intuition, right? Be very objective. So we see it moving forward and backward. And the shaft will always reach that piece, which we can see is this one. We see that if the shaft moves, this part moves, which makes the feed dogs go forward and backward. And here it comes attached
to the connecting rod I mentioned. Let me see if I can focus this properly.
Here we can see it completely black. And from this part, from the connecting rod, it joined the upper eccentric and the shaft for the teeth movement.
This is how we locate the piece.
In charge of reaching the eccentric, the upper part. On all machines, that feed eccentric is always at the top. On this machine, Giuseppe Apea, you definitely have to uncover it completely. But on others, you just have to remove the top cover and we will find that same eccentric in a different way, but it performs the same function. Now we are going to use an Allen key like this one. It looks like it is 1.542.
And we are going to do the following. We turn the hand wheel and we will find the screw. Here we can see it, the screw that holds the eccentric to the shaft. We see that it also. So what are we going to do? We are going to loosen the screw. We loosen it. Now we are going to move the flywheel. Let's see. We move the hand wheel while holding
The wrench on the screw so it does not move. And we are going to turn it more or less 180 degrees. That is half of the full rotation. We hold it and turn the hand wheel. And we tighten. Remember that this is trial and error, right? After tightening, we must check how the movement turned out. Raise the pressure foot and turn the hand wheel.
And we see that.
I'll zoom in. We have zoomed in the cameras and we can see it's transporting well now. I'll rotate the movement completely. Remember that this adjustment should always be done this way. It happens because the screw loosened or because that setting went out of control. So the ideal thing is always is to turn it 180 degrees to the middle of the entire movement.
Well, now comes the important part. It was not just the previous step, but now comes the important part, which is that it gives us a good stitch. In other words, we are going to sew, and in case it is not forming little loops under the fabric, it is not the tension, it is because we must move the feed dogs back a little so that it tensions the thread well for us. Even if the tension is fine, if the adjustment we just made was a little off, it will cause those little thread loops to form, and we need to tighten it a bit more so the thread is properly tensioned. This is very important, which is why I was telling you that it is very important to watch this video until the end. Alright, I have threaded it. Let's put the material in and see how it is sewing. We lower the needle and press the pedal. Let's remember that when we make that adjustment, we must have the stitch set to the largest one. We lower the presser foot and check. Here we can see precisely what I was telling you about the thread loops. It means we need to move the feed dogs back a little, and we can see it is also making a stitch that is larger than normal. So we do the same thing again. Once more, we locate the screw.
We loosen it, hold it for a second, and now we are going to move it just a little bit, not much, just a tiny bit. A little bit, and we tighten, and we must test it again.
We turn it over.
And we see that now it is tensioning the thread well.
We see the difference.
And that adjustment is now correct. That was the little detail I mentioned, the trick. In case it ends up like that for you, I didn't move the tension at all. We just adjusted the feed eccentric a little bit, and we can see that the stitch is now fine without any loops.
Remember, friends, if you like this video, it is very important to us. Support us with a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and we will see you in the next video.